Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
It's your boy Taco Bell Wani and full-time family. We are about to break some big news. This is the type of news that would get my media pass taken if I were to report it and I had a media pass. Luckily, I'm just a fucking YouTuber, bro, so we get to break this news here on the channel. Now, of course, this isn't going to probably be reported by the big MMA websites and stuff because, you know, they don't want to lose their media credentials. But I got facts for you. I'm not even about to bring out my tinfoil hat, full-time family. I'm about to bring you facts after facts after facts after facts. Now, I don't even want to put in no like video footage on here, like, because if you recall at the UFC 223 post-fight or pre-fight press conference, it was Max Holloway and Khabib. Actually, it was after Tony Ferguson was out and Max Holloway was in. A reporter had asked, and I'll put the link in the description, I just don't want to get this video taken down for whatever reason for using footage, but a reporter asked Khabib about a fight in Russia, and Khabib responded, yes, I've heard it's already a done deal. The UFC's coming to Russia in September, but I don't know much more than that. He said, if I do fight Conor, or if my next fight, I want to be in Madison Square Garden. Now, Khabib just said that the UFC is coming to Russia in September. He didn't say he was going to be on the card or anything like that, even though I'm about to confirm that for you. Even though I can't confirm it because I can't call Khabib or Conor. I don't even know if it's going to be against Conor. I don't know what Conor's going to be doing. I just know we're going to need a huge fight for this huge event. Now, walk with me, full-time family. Let's get into rumorville and alleged land. First, I was, checking out the MMA Reddit, right? And I saw this reporter reported that the UFC is coming to Moscow September 15th. Now, this wasn't the first place I had saw that. It is the first time I'm reporting it because the other place I had saw it was the UFC's Wikipedia, right? In Wikipedia, it's not a legitimate source. Just because you see something on Wikipedia doesn't mean it's facts. So I'm not going to report that on the UFC's Wikipedia right here. Let me see if I can circle it for you. Right here, UFC event. I'll put this red line right here so you can see it. Alright, UFC event right here. Look over here, Olympic Stadium, September 15th. Okay, so Khabib did say September. He heard the UFC was already coming. Now, so on the Wikipedia, they do have Moscow, Russia, right here, September 15th, and it also says Olympic Stadium. Now, today, we have Adam with the Adam Z coming through down here, and he said UFC's coming to Moscow, Russia, September 15th. This is an actual MMA reporter. He reports on like the ACV, which I believe is a Russian promotion. And so there's more, confirmation that the UFC might be coming to Russia, Moscow 15th. Somebody on Twitter asked what venue, and he said the Olympic Stadium. Now, that's the Olympic Stadium here. Now, you think Olympic Stadium, but then you still have to think, okay, but Khabib said he would like to fight in Madison Square Garden, and Dana White said the fight would have to take place in Vegas. So if either one of them are right, then it's not going to be in Russia, right? But I think it's going to be actually in this Olympic Stadium. Now, because if you recall why Dana White said it would have to take place in Vegas, I believe it's because he said it would have to take place in Vegas because the fight's so big. So it got me to thinking, what's the capacity of Madison Square Garden? What's the capacity of, in Las Vegas? What's so much bigger about Vegas than Russia? So then I also was like, okay, and I'm also going to check the capacity of the Olympic Stadium to see if it would make sense for the UFC to have such a big fight in Russia. So let's continue. So I looked up the capacity for, as I said, the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, 20,000. I looked up the capacity for Madison Square Garden, 20,000 plus. I also looked up the capacity for the Moscow Stadium, but somebody had already asked this on Twitter. They said, what's the capacity? And someone said 30,000. But I wanted to confirm that for myself and not just take a Twitter and say, oh, look, it's a big stadium according to this guy on Twitter. So, of course, I had to Google it. My Olympic Stadium in Moscow capacity, you see it down here, 35,000. That's a pretty big stadium. I believe the 1980 Summer Olympics, were held here at this Olympic Stadium. That's a huge stadium. 35,000 people? You don't think Conor McGregor versus Khabib, the biggest fight in UFC history, would be a great spot? We already know that Conor wants to fight Khabib in Russia. Isn't he great? Dana White said this in the past. And what if Conor says, what are you talking about in Vegas, Dana? I told you, I want Khabib in Russia. I'm not fighting Khabib unless it's in Russia. I'm motherfucking Conor McGregor, and y'all know I run shit. Like Conor McGregor's running shit at the UFC. Dana White recently said, people always say I let Conor get away with too much, you know, he's running. So with that being said, we know that Conor McGregor wants to fight Khabib in Russia. If you got a 35,000 fucking people stadium, and we know everyone, we gotta see Conor versus Khabib at this point. Send me location. We all know about the Dolly incident. Boom. We know about Khabib. They've got a real life beef at this point. But this is a situation where Conor McGregor's gonna have to be careful, dog. It's a good thing that he didn't say no crazy shit like Colby Covington and talk about all of, you know, Khabib's people, or else I wouldn't even advise Conor going to Russia. But right, it really just seems like a beef with Khabib's team. He didn't make it a whole country thing, but he does want to go there. Bro, could you imagine that? Conor McGregor lost his title, stripped of his title, fucking world turned on him after he threw that dolly. Now he's coming to a fucking Olympic stadium against Khabib in the first Russia event. It's gonna be like Conor McGregor walking into a stadium, low-key David versus Goliath type shit, because it's not the best matchup for Conor, although in Khabib's last fight, as Joe Rogan pointed out, we saw the holes in Khabib striking. So if he tries to make a point with Conor, if he gets emotional, you know, before the fight, not emotional, but you know what I'm saying, because Khabib's not the type to get emotional, but I'm just saying if he wants to prove a point, if he wants to say, I can strike with this guy, I'll beat this guy any way I want. If Khabib tries to do that, we could be looking at a crazy moment. It's already insane to think about. Or Khabib, which I think would be the smarter game plan, come in here and try and fucking smash Conor like he's smashing everybody else. But you know what Khabib could do to Conor if he got him to the ground, and I say that because Conor's not known for his grappling. That's not his strong suit. He's known for knocking dudes out. He's more known for his striking. He's not known for his jiu-jitsu. Dylan Dennis, his coach, is. But this is Conor McGregor. He's known for that motherfucking left and for TKOing dudes, knocking dudes out, dribbling their heads off the canvas. So all I'm saying is it's a fucking, the style match, the fights, it's a great fight. There's the rivalry's there. It's got all the makings for the biggest fight in UFC history. And by the way, I didn't just go off that Google search. I also looked up the Olympic Stadium again, and it does say $35,000 main arena. So it's actually a 35,000 people stadium. So I only bring up that Olympic Stadium to see. I don't know why why Dana White would say like it would have to happen in Vegas. And you know what I'm saying? I think if it's going to happen in the Olympic Stadium and they've got a 35,000 people capacity, I think you should try and fill that joint up. That sounds like a hell of a challenge. I don't even know if they could do it, bro. That 35,000 people is a lot of people in one to watch a UFC event, bro. But if you're going to have a fight, it's going to have to be Conor McGregor versus Khabib, right? No one else would be able to do it. You can't, and that's why I think it has to be Conor. That's why I think it's going to have to be Conor. Because you can't have Tony Ferguson versus Khabib selling out 35,000 people. Khabib might be able to do it. They say Khabib's like Michael Jordan over there. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I haven't ever been over there. But what I'm saying is, you're going to have the right fight, bro. You're not just going to be able to throw Kevin Lee, you know, he's been calling out Khabib, but I don't think that fight's built up enough. Khabib hasn't really responded to Kevin Lee enough. You know, it's not like it's not there. I don't think 35,000 people, bro, that's a lot of fucking people. 20, like we saw with the UFC's biggest events are usually in Vegas or Madison Square Garden now. That's 20,000. This is almost double that. You're gonna need a huge fight to sell out this, you know, this arena. So now, with that being said, these are all the clues that I just put together. This is why I think Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I say that fight because I don't see any other fight being big enough unless Khabib's just selling out that joint by himself. But that's a lot of fucking seats, 35,000 people. Now, with that being said, take this. I think this is happening, but at the same time, you're not going to see this on the MMA Fightings and the MMA Junkies most likely yet. As far as UFC 228 in Russia at the Olympic Stadium, Khabib's on, like all of that is just hearsay from me at this point. This guy, this MMA reporter on Twitter did report that the UFC is coming to the Olympic Stadium in Moscow. That's also on the UFC's Wikipedia. And we also see the capacity for the Olympic Stadium is bigger than Vegas or Madison Square Garden. So that would, if you're trying to sell out a fucking Olympic Stadium, you're not going to be able to just do that with any normal fight card. You're going to need a huge fight, and it looks like we got one on our hands between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. That could be a very real possibility. So I would say there's about a 95% chance, 90% chance, because we don't know what's going to happen with Conor yet, but we have time, right? September 15th. If Conor McGregor got suspended for 2 months, if Conor McGregor had a fine, we have time for Conor McGregor to kind of suffer a small punishment. He already went to jail. He already, you know, he might get some community service. He might not get anything. We don't know what's going on with Conor McGregor's legal situation after, you know, throwing that dolly. Not only did he go to jail for that, but he might suffer a punishment from the UFC. He might, you know, with the commission, we don't know what's going on there. Also, he might be going through lawsuits from the other fighters, Ray Borg, Michael Chiesa. Conor McGregor's got a lot of shit to deal with. But all I'm saying, if he's trying to make that money back and he still wants to fight Khabib, which I'm sure Conor still wants to fight Khabib, in Russia, we got an Olympic Stadium that looks like the UFC's trying to come to September 15th. And now, as far as UFC 228, I say UFC 228. Let me point that out because no one else has really said anything about the specific number 228. I'm getting that off of this Wikipedia just because, look, UFC 227 is 100% confirmed. Dillashaw vs. Garbrandt 2, Staples Center, LA. That's confirmed 227. 229, T-Mobile Arena. That's confirmed. T-Mobile Arena 232. So with that being said, we go from 227 to 229 here. In the middle, clearly, is 228. And that's the one where we don't have a title for right here. So this should say UFC 228 and then Olympic Stadium, Moscow. That would put the rest of the pieces together, September 15th. So I think the UFC is coming to the Olympic Stadium in Moscow. That's the facts. You can buy it. You don't have to. I'm just a fucking YouTuber. This guy's just a fucking reporter. But he reports on Russian MMA. And these are just the pieces of the puzzle I put together. So it is what it is, man. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments about the UFC coming to Russia, Olympic Stadium in Moscow, 228, Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. You heard it here first. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.